Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new PSGL video here in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. What is round 12 of the championship. In Q1, as always, starting off the video, so critical to get these laps together and try to save tyre sets as you go through the qualifying session to build up for the best chance of pole position in Q3. We're here on our first run and we want to try and get that banker lap on the board as we're coming through sector 1. Ending off sector 1 and we'll be skipping to the end of a lap, and you just see running up to the line, what lap time is it going to give us? And it gives us a 26.042. Well, provisionally puts us through into Q2. But with one run left to go, and pretty much everyone on track will have an opportunity to improve. Right now, we will not be safe, and we have to find the lap time, and we have to find the improvement. Going through turn 1, up on the delta already. Sector 1 sets up this lap so well. If you're able to set up a good flow and rhythm through these high-speed snaking corners, then you can be on for a very good lap time. But overslide and heat the surface of the tyre up too much, and you'll be on for a bad lap time. We improve our delta and we go to a 3:17 as Freddie Radisson goes to the top of the session. We're 1.6 tenths up on the delta going through the final apex. We lose a bit of time, but we were pretty confident that we could be getting through this lap time anyway, so was minimal risk required. And indeed, we do go through and we are in to Q2 as we come on to our final run, in fact, here. And it's going to be critical to get this all together. Currently sat P13, will not be through into Q3 at this rate. Turn 1, turn 2, hooked up the traction, very nice on the exit, up on the delta, throw the car to the left-hander, close to the wall. It was a bit late on the power, we didn't quite have the confidence in the rear axle that it will stick to the road as we're going through this high-speed sector, nicely close to the wall and nicely on the apexes, but picked up a bit of understeer and that compromised us a bit on the exit. Nevertheless, the first sector is still very good as we go into this long left-hander, picking up good traction on the exit now. The lap is looking good, it's looking decent. We're a tenth and a half up through the right-hander. A little bit wide of our apex and got bottomed out on the exit curve. And now we know that we've got a big old task and a hill to climb to get through to Q3. So we've just got to commit to this left-hander, and as we do that we get a little bit of a snap of oversteer on the exit, compromising us again another tenth. And this is not looking like the lap of dreams. This is not looking like it's going to be good enough to get us into the top 10 shootout here in the Saudi Arabia qualifying for PSGL. We gave it everything at the final apex of the lap. Opening DRS, we're going to be nearly a tenth up, but coming across the line, it's not going to be good enough. You make a mistake, you bite the bullet, and biting the bullet, we're starting down in P15 and it's 5 lights, and away we go on the hard compound tyre here, getting a pretty decent start, looking around the outside, braking early, being conservative, but the cars bunch up, and we get... No. Are you kidding? Front wing damage. We're going to take a small replay of this. As you can see, coming down to turn 1, you can see we brake so much early. We lose a 1 car length to Jake Brendon on the left-hand side, but Patrick Seafoss and Simon Weigang bunched it up, causes Josh to brake even harder, and we just did not have enough time to react. And that's cost us half our front wing, and it's going to make this race very difficult. But we'll never give up. We'll continue pushing every lap, every apex to try and salvage something from that. So right now, I need to adapt to this car. I know it's going to lose front grip. I know it's going to be understeering like a wheelbarrow on slippery concrete, on no grip, on ice, whatever you want to say. Whatever you think there is little grip in life, that is what this car is going to feel like for the remainder of this stint until I can get that front wing changed. So, I know I'm going to have to drive the wheels off this car, and
should we at least try a lap or two to see if we can?
Yeah, I'm going to have to drive the wheels off this car to try and even stay anywhere close to the top positions, or even DRS train to keep ourselves contention for later in the race. You can see me saying, let's try one more lap just to see if we can stay within the train and hope that we can keep a bit of DRS for at least a few laps as we go forward into the stint. You can see right now we're actually staying pretty close, and we're running relatively quite low wings in this race. So you can see now we are actually gaining on the cars ahead down the straight as Ruben goes a bit defensive on us down into the final corner. And still, we're very close actually to Ruben, even with the front wing damage. So at this time I was like, okay, maybe we have a chance. There's a little opportunity here that hopefully we can stay on the back of them as we're going through the middle sector. Now you can see the cars ahead are starting to put away.
I think I can hang on.
As you can see me saying, I think I can hang on.
I will lose a few positions, but I can hang on, I think.
Yeah, as I say to my engineers, I think I'm going to lose a few positions, but I think I can hang on. I think I can keep the DRS. I think I can keep the slipstream, and it's going to be so important. We have to choose what battles we do. We're going to let Daniel Beresnay go up the inside of us into the left-hander. He meets the apex, very nicely done. And now we're deep in his slipstream going across the start-finish line. He's using a bit of battery, but we're not really looking to fight him. As soon as he turns off his battery, though, you can see how much straight line speed we have. And we back out the throttle early. As I said, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to cost him time. I don't want to cost myself time. This first stint is now about surviving. And you can see we have let Caraton go down the inside of us. And we're not even going to put up a fight. We're letting him go down the inside. And we're just on the outside braking. As Caraton massively overshoots the braking point. I think that was a double front lockup. And then you can see we let him go again on the exit. And we're just not fighting him. There's no point. Again, our straight line speed is coming in clutch down the straight. We had the opportunity to go back down the inside of Caraton, even with a damaged wing, without using the battery. But, of course, we just decided better than that. Dylan Warren is now going past us as well, and we've used a little bit more battery, just keeping in the DRS train. And I think we're doing really good so far, to be honest. To be able to keep with the train and to not be multiple seconds behind the train right now, I think is really, something that I'm proud of. Because I think it would be so easy to understeer, crash into a wall, or make even more mistakes. But we're able to keep calm, keep ahead, and we're able to knuckle down and stay within the DRS train as long as possible. But now we're at the back, it's going to be very difficult to do that. And we're going to try our best to keep with us.
The reason my thinking is that if we go under, we might gain back, but we're going to be on dead tyres, it would be very hard to do anything. If we go plan A, we're going to lose that time anyway, and we'll be near the back, but there's a chance for fighting we might be able to get back near.
As you can hear, I was actually having a discussion with my engineers.
You see what I mean?
About what lap we should box and what strategy we should go for to try and drag something out of this race. And basically, I was saying that if we box early, sure, we're going to have an undercut, but the time that we gain from the undercut will be lost when we change the front wing anyway. We'll be better off almost going for the overcut, knowing that we're going to be so far behind, but then hoping that there's some carnage, some battling, maybe even a safety car to bring us back into the race. As we say that, we're coming into pit lane, and this will be to change the front wing and get the car slowed down and be putting on a set of medium compound tyres. And right now, what I was thinking is, right, we've done the hard work. We kept ourselves relatively in contention for this race right now. We didn't give up. We didn't start crying about it. We didn't act like a baby. We kept mature. We kept our head. And now we are in a position that if we drive really good, really flawlessly, we can maybe get back in this fight. We're 14 seconds behind Simon, but we never give up. We always fight. We're going to give everything.
Right, let's get back in it.
As you can see, instantly me saying, right, let's get back in it. And now we're skipping forward.
Just think about ways we can get back in this.
Again, I'm saying, think about ways we can get back in this. I'm not ready to give up. I'm never going to give up on a race. I'm going to fight every single lap. I don't care.
Safety car.
Ooh, as we say, a safety car is coming
Box
out.
again, no?
And as I was saying, I don't care. I want to fight every position, every point, and I want to leave every race with honour.
Question. So, I don't know if we have this data, But would it be worth following the safety car for a lap and then boxing with the fresh mediums to take a lap of wear away, or not? So, yep, okay, follow it for a lap, that is.
So you can see we was having a discussion with the engineers, and the point is we want to give ourselves the best chance possible in the stint after the safety car. Obvious statement, I know.
Yeah, now we're not in the heat of battle. Apologies for turn 1, that's my fault. Stuff can happen. We won't beat ourselves up over it, but we'll get back
So
in
we
this.
wanted to give ourselves the best opportunity possible. So following the safety car for a lap,
got a great chance.
and then boxing on this lap would give us 1 lap fresher tyres compared to most of the other people in the field. So maybe we can have an advantage from this. Maybe we can strike. Maybe we can make some positions and salvage a result out of that. As we're on the safety car restart, lap 15 of 25. You can see there's carnage. Simon Vigan hits the back of Thomas, and Navarro hits the back of Simon, and that cost us the opportunity to get a good run out of the final corner as we had to react to the Constantino effect and make sure that we did not break our front wing one more time in this race. Coming down to turn 1, I already knew my strategy for this stint. What I'm going to do is save tyres, save battery, and give ourselves the best opportunity possible to make positions up in the final 4 laps of this race. I'm going to let everyone else fight. I'm going to let everyone else use their battery, their tyres, their performance, their grip. And then I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. And I'm going to use all of the grip, battery, performance that I've saved up in the later parts of the race. You can see the cars ahead all pulling away from me on the straight rapidly, all because they're using their battery. And we still have 100% on the battery once we go through the braking zone and recharge it. Of course, as it decreases a bit down the straight. And as we're coming down the pit straight, you can see I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting back, chilling, keeping my engine cool. You can see I'm lifting and coasting super early, looking after the tyres, as Frederick Rasmussen retires after an incident with Wilson Hughes. Lap 20 of the race. And you can see we're chilling. We're saving our opportunities for later in the race. We're not putting stupid moves in now. We're waiting, and we're going to be critical. And we're going to be on it in the final laps of the race. Now we start to heat up. Now we start to close in. And now we're going to start using our battery advantage and our tyre advantage to suit us. And there's a virtual...
Can we box? No, we can't box. We can't box.
And there's a virtual safety car. And we was past the virtual line, so we couldn't box. Otherwise, we would have got a penalty. But this is...
Yeah, I saw on the floor. Yeah, we couldn't have boxed anyway. It was past the virtual line. I think we're still doing the right thing. Even though they're going to get a bit fortunate with the recharge. Is what it is, I think.
Yeah, you hear me saying they're going to get a bit fortunate with the recharge. We spent all the time saving our battery, not attacking.
Do you know who has damage?
And now everyone ahead of us is just going to get a free chance to recharge our battery. And yeah, so with that, we made a mistake as well. That was just on me. That was my fault. Basically, got caught out with the different speeds and the dirty air combined with approaching the corner from a lower speed than we normally do. So just understeered onto the curb. So my responsibility, that was my mistake. Not going to put the blame on anyone else other than myself. But yeah, as we saw with that, we was able to close back up very rapidly, very quickly anyway. But going back to the main point, is we saved our tyres, saved our battery, and then we got very unfortunate with the virtual safety car coming out when it did, as gave us not the opportunity to use that battery advantage and gave everyone else the opportunity to get their battery back to a high level. And yeah, cost us the chance to get back. But like I say, this is racing. One day it'll go in my favour, the next day maybe not. And I think this is always really important to remember about these situations, is for what we want to go right, and of course we naturally want everything to go right or as close to perfect as possible in every race, every lap that we do. But I think it's also important to be an adult, to be grown up about this. I think it's easy to throw the toys out the pram and to just start ranting about stuff and blaming people and not taking responsibility. I take responsibility, although lap 1 was my fault, is my fault. I didn't anticipate the other cars braking so early, and it cost me my front wing. I take the responsibility of that, and that is what it is. I think myself and the team did a really great job getting back in the chance for points and fighting and continuing, so I'm always going to be proud of us for this. And after some penalties from the stewards, possibly we will have points as well. But with that being said, we're coming at the final corner on the final lap, trying to get a run and Simon Weigang, but it's not going to be quite enough. And we're going to cross the line P12 in this race. Not ideal, but it is what it is. And yeah, as I talked about in the final lap, sometimes these races happen, but it's important to stay strong. And I'm going to be even more motivated for the next race coming up. Speaking of that race, I will catch you in Mexico. Grazie, ciao, ciao, bye bye.